Hello, everyone. I'm Michelle McLean, your host for Tip Radio, Top Industry Professionals, where we showcase prestigious professionals from around the world sharing their stories of success and inspiration. And what a better time than now in this festive season. I have a very special guest with me today. He's no stranger to IAOTP. He is a renowned artist whose contributions to art have spanned the world and showcasing his work in exhibitions across 6 continents over the last 3 decades. He's also an educator, writer, and founder of the Mann Studio. We just celebrated him last weekend in Las Vegas, where he received IOTP's Man of the Year Award and Top 25 Global Impact Leaders Award in Art. My goodness, Frank, it's so wonderful to welcome you back on the show. Frank Mann.
Hi, Michelle. Thanks for having me.
Well, it was so lovely to celebrate in Las Vegas with you and your wife recently. And of course, we got to share with all the other IOTP members and just celebrate with everybody and their accomplishments. But talking about your years, 30 years of experience and sharing your innovation and creativity with the world. Tell us, how did you get into this industry? Was it always something that you wanted to do?
Well, yes, it was always something that I wanted. I drew as a young child with other children and was often rewarded and identified as someone to pay attention to by certain adults and teachers. Um, I'm living the life that I always wanted to live, and it's the culmination of a lifetime interest. Um, I think my notion of talent came from the Greeks, who once stated that happiness comes from using your talents wisely. And I always thought applying it to cultural production was my method of identifying that for myself. And I'm never look back. I always thought it was the right choice for myself. Thank you.
But I mean, you collaborate with so many people, and recently you had this world exhibition, this group exhibition. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, there's many individual and group exhibitions. The most recent one just came down on December 11th of this month. Uh, it was an exhibition put together by a curator from Milan for a gallery in Venice in Giudecca. Giudecca is one of as you may know, Venice is created by a number of islands, and Giudecca is one of the outer islands that's past a body of water called the Venetian Lagoon. And the water around Venice is actually the Adriatic Sea that's again encompassed by these islands. So this is one of the outer islands, and the theme was created by the curator Chromaflux, which has to do with exploring color as a universal and transformative force. Um, from what I understand, some of the curators from the Venice Biennale came to visit the exhibition, which is pretty wonderful. And it was well attended. And I understand that two of the paintings from that exhibit will also appear in a show in Milan in the summer of 2026. So that's the basic breakdown.
My goodness. So did you ever imagine as a young man what your trajectory of your career would look like and what it is today? Like, do you sometimes wake up and go, I can't believe this has happened in my world?
Well, yes, I think I do have those moments, but it sounds like a long time ago now, but in the 1980s and 90s, there was a huge influx of international artists to New York. and they really helped to sustain the entire scene, even in New York City. And they were identified with, at that time, they were identified with the nations from which they came. But all of that has been evolved to a whole new point where after the 90s, international exhibiting was just part of what people did.
Mhm.
And some people are more focused on it than others. Some people are more interested in how their work is perceived by other cultures. But it's just the evolution of things in our time, in our lifetime.
And talking about evolution, so I recently heard from some luxury collectors that jewelry and ornaments, dresses could be more of collector's items than actually art. What would you say to that? Like, I mean, we're not going to change the fact that art will always be a collector's investment opportunity, right?
Oh, that's right. No, it's when you mention it that in that context, it's remarkable to me some of the auctions that we end up paying attention to in New York. Everything from memorabilia to uh, uh, wine to luxury items, and so it's just part of our time. But everything in the art world basically is based on rarity, and I suppose that does overlap in some cases. In other cases, they're just Hollywood auctions are one of a kind, things that are used in a particular production, and that's wonderful as well. Yeah.
What would you say to the question people have? Well, most great artists in the world were only recognized after their death. I mean, I'm not a art fundi, but if you look at Picasso, you look at many of the other artists.
Oh, yes,
What,
that's
what
true.
would, yeah, what would you say to that? I mean, today's world, it's relevant for artists, living artists, to make money. What would you say?
Well, it's a complicated topic. When you talk about mortality in terms of the artist, there's an old adage, uh, art is long, life is short. So you know from a very early age you got to get busy, right? It's not it's not a title, it's a thing to work towards. And Picasso is a great example. I think he worked, my understanding is he died around the age of 93. And if my sources are right, I understand that he worked until 3 a.m. the night before. So it's it's really just a matter of matching up this life with uh, cultural projects and things that need to get done. And most of the best work is done out of necessity. It always was. Yeah,
It's an interesting analogy of life,
sure.
to be able to go on the journey. And
Absolutely.
we all have to die at some point.
Yes,
And
that's
our
right.
legacy hopefully will live on, and we all have our own legacies. I mean, you have this phenomenal, history of all the artwork that you have. So you will live on literally in physicality, but many people don't.
Yes.
Um, so what would you say to anybody wanting to be an aspiring artist or is an aspiring artist? What would you say? What would your advice be to them about how to live their life?
Well, the most important thing, and the most important thing from my point of view in life is commitment. When you make a commitment, it's the thing that gets you through the difficult days because you know that there's another day and there's another moment and you're back in the arena, so to speak. Beyond that, the practice is one of diligence, constant effort or work. And that means you in a sense, the expression is you have to put in your time.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the third aspect of that would be uh, perseverance, because perseverance is primary. If an effort is not sustained, then you can't hope for great results. So those three words will be sum it up for me.
But also, wouldn't you say, like, everyone talks about having the passion, whether you're a sports person, whether you're in
Sure.
art, you first have to have that light that
Yes,
it ignites your every day. You wake up and you're inspired.
that's
So,
right.
would you say if you don't have that, maybe don't try and pursue this kind of career because it is hard.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's another very deep topic that you've raised. A very extensive topic, but many artists, I will say many, most, have a kind of inner life, and that is analogous to what you call an inner light. And that aspect of art making really does identify the artist from other people. And
Mm,
I'm not just talking about visual artists, but musicians, those people who can intuitively uh, identify what it is that's most important to them and work on it from in a day-to-day stance. So for the most part, you're right, but one from the outside can hardly ascertain who has what on the inside, you know. And I think it was the Dalai Lama who said, uh, happy people build their inner life, unhappy people blame their outer life. I think
and
I think that's pretty good.
I truly love that. I love that quote by the Dalai Lama.
Yes,
And so on that note, because, talking about Buddhism and talking about any, sort of
sure.
stances we have as human beings, we always have challenges and we have choices to deal with them. What have been the greatest challenges in your life?
Well, for me, I was raised in a particular way in a very practical manner. And I came from at art making from a scientific background, which is a very different way of thinking than making a commitment and suspending control of the outcome, which is the nature of creativity.
Hmm.
So if you're willing to surrender to the outcome, you have a chance that things will go right. If you insist on constant control, that's a whole different way of looking at life. So one with that formal way of thinking is kind of an empiricist, someone whose practical knowledge is accounts for their whole range of being, their whole way of knowing.
Mhm.
Uh, so it's basically a reminder that our perceptions and our beliefs determine, how we view the world. Yeah.
And what would you say about this adage that artists are always struggling, poor people, besides obviously those who make millions out of there. What, when any young aspiring artist, the parents would say, "Oh, you got to go and be an accountant or a
Yes.
doctor. You don't want to be an artist."
Yes. Yes, of course. Well, that goes for uh, uh, it goes for musicians,
Yes.
uh, for everyone involved with the arts. It's a way of leaving your former life behind in a sense. But and there is a recent survey of a newsletter online in New York, which will remain unnamed, uh, cited that many successful artists carry a huge amount of debt. So, so that's an interesting aspect too. I never really think about it. I think that the commitment is so demanding that the outward signs of success are something that artists over time have actually come out against, have actually preached against.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and it's it's not necessarily equated with success. And therefore, it's one more detail that we can pay attention to where we can, slide through that and move on, you know.
Well, you've spoken about the challenges.
Sure.
Let's talk about, the celebration of your life. So you've been on magazine covers, on billboards, and especially, you've been with IAOTP for so many years. There's also the recent Phoenix Award that you spoke about, the Career Achievement in Venice. But just tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh, well, thank you for mentioning it. Uh, yeah, it's very rewarding when people assess your career and talk about your achievements. Again, it bears little relation to the work that you do at that moment or whatever struggle you're engaged in. But even more recently, I was awarded an international prize called the Artist in the Art History Award, um, which will be presented at the Borghese Palace in Florence in January of 2026, next month.
That's
Florence,
incredible, Frank. That's amazing. You're so humble. You never talk about these things.
well, this literally just happened recently, and I'm delighted to be part of it. It's probably my third career achievement award, and Florence, as you know, is the city of rebirth and light. It
Oh,
was the center of the Renaissance after hundreds of years of darkness. And the people there are so eminently proud, and you're so happy to be part of that culture, even momentarily. Yeah.
but just tell me a little bit more about what the award, the previous awards, and what it really speaks to.
Well, I've had some lifetime achievement awards, and as I say, these career achievement awards mean more than just about everything else. But uh, I think I've had in excess of 35 international awards. So we've done pretty well over a long period of time. And
So is
I'm
this
delighted when people can recognize that the strength of the project
Mm.
that you selected for yourself and that they're uh, interested enough to reward you in that way. It's so flattering. And I always feel humble when I receive such an honor.
Now, just for the lay person out there like me, not in art, is
Sure.
this something that you've received from your peers, or is it something received from the audience?
Ah, that's a good question because many of them are from organizations uh, who are familiar with your work, both in Europe and here in New York. Um, there are grants and awards given by peers. Um, but what happens is uh, over time, the the more that you work, the more individual your progress, and you begin to separate out and at some level. And it is just superbly humbling that people in any station in life can appreciate your project and know that um, and that you know that they see you for what it is, a project that really interests people. Yeah,
Well, that's wonderful and so well deserved to get those
thank you.
accolades, Frank. It
Thank
really
you.
is. And it's been wonderful getting to know you over the years.
Thank
IOTP
you.
is
Likewise. Thank
obviously
you.
our family, and we all celebrate you. And it's so lovely to always see your wife as well. She looks spectacular every time.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll
You
convey that to her.
please do. And we look forward to seeing you at the next soiree, hopefully in Nashville in
Yes, that's
June.
right.
Oh,
Good,
yes,
good.
good.
That would be wonderful.
So we're going to get our hats on and our boots
Well,
ready.
thank you so very much for uh, all of your work, um, your ability to dedicate the hours that you have to bringing out people's experiences and spotlighting and emphasizing their lives. You really are phenomenal, and I appreciate all that you do.
Thank you. It's a pure joy of mine. I love to see, like you were talking about the light earlier and seeing the light, and we all get inspiration from different things in our life. And
Sure,
I get, filled with passion and gratitude by seeing somebody else also be, shown their light shown in the world. So
sure.
thank you for allowing me this opportunity. And
Oh, thank you so very much. And uh, I am so grateful to have the opportunity to share something with your audience. So thanks for all that you do.
thank you. Thank you, Frank, and a blessed, blessed holiday season.
And the same to you. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Lots of love and light.
Bye bye.